Hello, welcome back to another tutorial. We are going to run through a comprehensive starter guide for a pure strength build. I start off my character as a hero class just because they have the most amount of strength, and I like to use the Fanged Imp Ashes. Just makes it a little easier early game. Although this is done very quickly, this isn't considered a speed run. We do set up the start for your character, and by the end of the video, you will have a basic starter of essentials such as flasks, sacred tears, and map locations. I'll also be covering optional quests and tips that you can hit on this route. So what I'm doing in the beginning is just the essentials for starting the game. We're gonna get the grace at the Church of Elden, and then we're going to run to the gate front just to get our Torrent, our mount. Now we're going back to the Church of Elden. We're going to talk to Rani the Witch. She's going to give us some summons and the Spirit Calling Bell. I do prefer the Fanged Imp Ashes, but if you do pick a different keepsake, the dogs are a good starting option. So we're going to start off the guide here at the gate front. I like to grab the map and the whetstone knife first thing, just so you can start applying Ashes of War whenever you get a chance after this guide ends. Once you open the door and go in the room, all the enemies on aggro, allowing you to just fast travel out of this room. From here, we're gonna go straight through the gates. I grab the golden seed, and I like to go around the outside of the shack. That way you don't get attacked by these random flying dogs. A little bit more towards the south is going to be I'm going to grab the smithing stone, and then we're going to go to the graveyard. Watch out for the explosive bowling balls. Just grab the runes for later use. So they're going to run past, slice the troll's knee, piss him off, break the statue, grab some smithing stones. I'm going to run north from here. We're going to go around the right side of this broken castle thing, and this is another optional part of the guide. You can stop here and help the pot Alexander out of the hole. He does a pretty good quest line that isn't really completed until the end of the game, but you can get that done here now. I'm gonna run past the pumpkin man after getting the grace, grab the smithing stone here, run around the trader, and then continue southeast. It's important to keep an eye out for the glowing skulls. They have runes that are pretty much only useful early game. And then I also tend to pick up every flower I pass by. I sell everything at the end of this guide just to get as much runes as possible, so the more the merrier. Alright, we're gonna go into this canyon to grab the smithing stone that's right next to this bear. Important part here is to let the dogs aggro the bear first. Once you jump down, the dogs will spawn after they howl and start attacking the bear. If you run into the bear first, he'll just start attacking you. We don't want that. After you grab the smithing stone, we're gonna run back to the third Church of America, grab the physic and the tear, and then we're gonna go south from here. I'm gonna follow the road because just further south here is the map for this area. I'm gonna grab that, careful of the giant bear on the right. Now once you run past this part of the road, you'll start hearing the howling. That's the starting quest for Blad. We're gonna grab this grace here, and then we're gonna grab the Dectus Battalion in this fort. Grab the golden seed, jump around the Pumpkinhead man, and climb to the top of the building. You can take your time and kill all the enemies, but I just run through. Now you can't travel until you kill these enemies, and you can choose to fight your way out or just kill yourself. Now we're back at the grace, and we're gonna run south to the graveyard with all these puppies. Then we'll go west from there, following the cliffside here, looking for the spring jump to get us up on the top of the plateau. From here, just head southwest. There's gonna be one more graveyard with some more puppies. From here, we're going southwest. We're gonna grab one more grace before we go to the peninsula. We're gonna grab the smithing stone here and the stone sword key, and I grab the grace here as well. I like to grab as many graces as possible through this run just to make it easier for my gameplay later on. I'm gonna smack the puppy, grab the Morning Star. There's one more smithing stone right here before we move south along the road, grabbing one more grace. We're gonna go south along the road, grab the map. Before we go back up north, we're gonna do a little tour of the peninsula to grab a few sacred tears. The pros to a pure strength build is the heavy attacks that just tend to break the poise of most enemies, especially against casters. Because you're putting all your skills into few selections, basically just vigor, strength, occasionally endurance, it does make it rather easy to level up. Cons would be that you are pretty close range and you have slow attacks, so you have to get used to the pacing for this build, but it is really satisfying when you can get an attack off. It does require skillful timing, not just with dodges, but the attacks. The other challenge to this early on is that you will have a little bit lower of a carrying capacity, and we're getting a really heavy weapon right out the gate. So it does mean you're going to be using some lighter armor, making you a little bit more susceptible to attacks. Once you grab this tier and grace, we're going to be traveling back to the Third Church of America. From here, we're going to be going north. Once you see the water, head east, and you'll find the teleporter to take you to Caelid. Run around the giant gargoyle. Directly south, we're going to grab the golden seed and the grace. We're going to grab the golden seed and the grace that's further south. We're gonna hit this grace, and this part is an optional kind of exploit. So we're gonna wait till night to have the night cavalry spawn. This is a little tricky, and I'm not gonna lie, I died about 6 times trying to do it on this guide. I don't normally take that long, but it is kind of annoying to master. We're waiting for him to do a jump move after running into the wall on the other side of the bridge. Once he does that, he'll fall over the edge and die. And it gives you an easy 42,000 runes and a really cool Ash of War. So after I got the 42,000 runes, I got my vigor up to 20 and my strength up to 29. We technically only need 30 strength for the weapon we're going to be using, but the more the merrier. We're going to head over to this spring jump here and hit the graveyard. The graveyards in Caelid tend to have a lot more runes. Gonna run through and grab some lightning flowers. Run around the Erd tree here and hit the other spring jump. And now we're gonna get to Fort Faroth. We have 2 goals here. We're going to kill this large dragon for an easy 100,000 runes. The best way to do that is to equip our trusty Morning Star because of the bleed damage that takes percentage health out of the dragon. Now I do recommend you use a gold foul foot for this. The easiest way to get it is to go back to the first step, jump down these cliffs here. Then you'll see some spring jumps. You don't have to land directly on the spring jump. As soon as you see the gust of wind beneath your horse, you know that you're gonna land without taking fall damage. Once you grab the pickled foul foot, jump right back on up, and then you can travel back to Fort Faroth after the aggro is lost. Once here, I like to equip the pickled foul foot to the equipment to make easy access. I'm not going to use it until the dragon's pretty low health because we don't want it to expire. I like to take this spot here and just beat the living shit out of his hamstring. You'll hear a lot of dragons running around, but none of them can reach you here. So feel free to just take some swings at his hamstring until the bleed procs bring him pretty low. Use that gold pickled foul foot and take him out. Once you level up, I put a little bit more into vigor just to make it a little easier. You will be hit a lot getting used to this build. Like I said, very slow moving attacks. I put a few into endurance and the rest into strength. And we're going to run up these stairs into Fort Faroth, run through all the bats, up the ladder, and we're going to grab the half of the Dectus battalion. I run over here and grab a very useful early game talisman, Radagon's Source Seal. This talisman is going to increase a lot of your melee offensive. You get dexterity, strength, endurance, and then you can just die to the rats. I try to survive, but it doesn't go well. We're gonna go back to the Stormhill Shack. We're gonna make our run through the lakes. Going northwest, across the bridge here, we're gonna cut into the new area. I'm gonna grab this Grace here. I like to grab the map here too. These guys are really annoying, so I kind of lure them away and then swoop in and take the map. Fun fact, you can kill those guys with healing spells. I'm gonna go to this teleporter here, and it's gonna take us to the front gate of the academy. I'm gonna grab the Grace here because we're gonna be traveling here pretty often. Easiest way to get down is to jump through these two trees. Just double jump with a little bit of spacing and land on the rock. I'm gonna grab the golden seed, the map, and one more Grace before moving up north. So from the Grace, we're gonna head north. I grab the map just so I can mark where we're going on the map. This is gonna be a crystal tunnel that's gonna give us the smithing stone bell bearing for 1 and 2. Gonna make life a lot easier after that. What's really important is to utilize the Morningstar here. Really the only way to beat these crystalline is to hit them with a blunt weapon. Something that crushes rather than slices or stabs. Now you can take your time and explore this area, but right now we don't have much gear or weaponry, so I just run on through. Fun fact here, if you're sprinting in combat, you'll see your kind of fatigue bar empty up, but if you sneak and unsneak really quickly, it will restore, effectively allowing you to sprint infinitely. I'm gonna jump down here and try to grab as many smithing stones here as possible as well. And one more decline before we get to the boss room. Here I use the Fanged Imps again. They don't really do much damage until you break away at the crystalline. Seems to be different phases with these crystalline bosses where the more you hit them, the more they kind of shatter. And after a while, their poise will be broken with every hit, and you can just take them out. Fun fact here is you can fast travel right out of the boss room, where if you take the teleporter back to the entrance, you'd have to leave the cave before you can travel out. We're gonna go back to the gate and start picking up some runes at this graveyard here. This flower really doesn't want you to get their runes. The poison ultimately doesn't do much damage even if you get poisoned. We're gonna head west from here, go around this broken temple area, and grab the key to the gate. There's a dragon here in front of that key, but as long as you run straight to the key and run out, he never even attacks you. You can keep running west after that, and you can fast travel as soon as you break out of combat, but I like to grab this Grace while I'm here. We're gonna grab this Grace, and you'll see this blue rune that will travel to the next area. You can go past that and grab the golden seed before you progress if you'd like. I'm gonna grab this Grace, and we're gonna hit one more church before we go up the Dectus lift. If you wanna see a part 2 of an intermediate strength build, hit us up on our Patreon, link below. All right, we're gonna grab this Grace, hoist the medallion, go right on up to the Altus Plateau. There is a Grace immediately to the left, up on a little hill, but I just run past welcome to grab that if you'd like. I'm gonna go northeast here along the road. You keep following the road up north, you will see a golden seed and the map for this area. You can grab that also before we progress, but we're gonna actually be heading a little bit more east here, up these stairs. I like to do a little bit of a serpentine pattern with these just to not get hit by the arrows. The easiest way I've found to dodge these two sentinels is to run straight towards one and then dodge around it. If you run straight to the grace, they usually unaggro and sometimes even disappear. I'm gonna grab the grace, a couple golden seeds, and the map for this area as well. Now I'm gonna mark on the map the cave we're going to, but first we're gonna grab our one and only weapon here. I'm gonna run up to the south, around on the right side. So this huge guy jumps down, hits you, but you can just grab the chest right off the bat. And if you die here, it's no problem, you can just get teleported back to the grace, and we'll proceed to this cave. Now, this weapon is probably gonna carry you to the end of the game unless you choose to switch it up, but it is probably the best pure strength build weapon there is. It's really heavy, so it do sacrifice a lot of carrying capacity for it. To use this weapon right off the bat, it does require 60 strength, but you can half the requirement for strength by two-handing it. I'm gonna grab this grace and hit this invisible wall. We're gonna run along the right side of the wall and immediately open this chest and grab the bell bearing. Now I rest here and upgrade the last of the flasks I have, and then we'll have to run out and travel to the gate front from here. The reason why we travel back to the gate front is we are going to be headed to the roundtable hold, and it for some reason does not let you travel from that side of grace. So now that we're here, we have an awkward holding hands moment with Millennia before we get to the roundtable. Now that we're here at the roundtable hold, essentially the last part of this starter guide is we are going to upgrade our weapon. Now, you do need a lot of extra runes to upgrade this massive hammer of yours. It takes about 37,547 just to upgrade the weapon. That's not including the cost of the runes, which is about 20,000. If you follow this guide, you only have to spend about 20,000. If you didn't, you might have to spend a little bit more. After all is said and done, I sell what I have, and I still need an additional 23,000 runes. What I do to get these runes in this video is do a little exploit with a rolling ball farm. But the other option you can do is just to start playing the game. Your weapon is upgraded, and it's going to do amazing in this early part of the map. But if you do want to get the runes very quickly, I can show you really quickly in this guide. So for upgrading our weapon all the way up to plus 12, we do need 12 of each smithing stone. 12-1, 12-2, 12-3, and 12-4. If you follow this guide, you should have all of the smithing stone 1. Just buy the balance for the 2, 3, and 4. I was able to upgrade my weapon to plus 6 until needing more runes. Now if you want a rune farm, about 23,000 runes are needed to finish off the weapon. I show a quick and easy way to do that by going to Lena's Rise here in Caelid. So we're gonna run just northwest of here, and once you get right over this rock here, a ball spawns, you run away, it crushes that poor deer every time, and you get an easy 2,000 runes. You can go to the map, teleport back, and just do that over and over again until you have 23,000 or more. And now that you have your weapon at plus 12, if you'd like, you can go to the War Master's Shack just east of the Stormhill Shack. Now this guy does sell a lot of Ashes of War. I like to get War Cry for this weapon early on. Just adds a little bit extra damage for your power-up moves. So you'll notice that after you use War Cry, your charge attack is a little different. The animation is different, and it typically does a little bit extra damage. I'm here in Limgrave. I'm going to show the damage that this does. Every basic swing is going to be doing about 600 damage. Power move does about 800, but after you use the War Cry, it does over 1,000. Power moves are a lot stronger after you use the Ash of War Cry. This build is very simple. Very fun, very satisfying. There's just nothing better than just flattening your enemies with every move, making the ground shake with every slam. The reason why we leveled our strength up to at least 30 is so that we can two-hand this weapon. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give us a like and subscribe, and let us know what you thought in the comment section below. If there's a specific tutorial that you would like to see, please follow us on our Patreon, link in the bio. If you found this video useful, you may also like these.